In an absolute pin, the pinned piece cannot move because doing so would expose its own king to attack. In our position, black's rook on c3 is pinned. Black to move can break the pin by moving the king, but then white captures the rook and gains a decisive material advantage. In a relative pin, the pinned piece can move, but it would lead to losing another piece. Black's knight on d7 is in a relative pin. If it stays on d7, white captures it. And if the knight moves away, white takes the opponent's rook on d8. In both cases, white wins. A pin is a way to immobilize the opponent's piece. In this position, we'll see how to create a pin with a bishop. Black's rook and king are unfortunately positioned on the same diagonal. White plays bishop to g3, creating an absolute pin. And, for example, after the king retreats, white wins the rook in the game. In our position, we'll see how to create a pin with a rook. Black hasn't castled yet, and his king and queen are awkwardly positioned on the same file. White takes advantage of this by creating a pin with rook to e1. Due to the pin, the queen cannot escape, and black is forced to lose it. The queen can also immobilize the opponent's piece by creating a pin. In this position, it takes advantage of black's rook and king being positioned on the same diagonal. White plays queen to b3, creating an absolute pin. For example, after the opponent's king retreats, white captures the rook and wins. A piece that is pinned cannot fulfill its defensive duties. White first sacrifices the queen on f7 to lure the opponent's queen into a pin. The pinned queen now doesn't defend the rook on a8. White captures it, and after the king retreats, white also captures the queen and gains a decisive material advantage. A pinned piece cannot move, so it's very powerful to attack it. In this position, black's knight on c6 is in an absolute pin. White attacks it with the move d5. Black still tries a counterattack on the bishop, but it calmly retreats while still maintaining the pin. On the next move, the knight on c6 falls. A crosspin is a special situation where a piece is pinned in two different directions. In our example, black's queen is pinned along the diagonal. With rook to d1, white creates a pin on the file as well. After capturing on c3, rook takes d7 check follows. The king retreats, and after capturing the queen, white remains up a rook. Very powerful pins can arise as early as the opening moves of a chess game. Here, black wasn't careful and awkwardly placed his queen on the diagonal where his king stands. White takes advantage of this with bishop to b5, creating a pin and winning the opponent's queen. A pin can be a key weapon in a mating attack as well. In our position, white plays rook from h1 to e1 check, and black has a sad choice. After bishop to e6, the bishop is pinned, and white plays queen to d7 mate. And after bishop to e7, this bishop would also be pinned, followed by queen to d8 mate. Combinational motifs using pins are very common. Black's pieces on the c8h3 diagonal are very vulnerable. White takes advantage of this by sacrificing the rook for the bishop, and after the queen recaptures, creates a pin with the bishop and wins the queen. This achieves a decisive material advantage. A pin can decide the game even in the endgame. In this position, Black's knight and king are unfortunately positioned on the 4th rank. White creates a pin with rook to a4. Black covers the knight with a pawn, but White's pawn attacks the pinned knight and captures it on the next move. You can find more about a pin in our Chesspedia. The link is in the video description, or scan this QR code. And don't forget to follow us on other social media.